Once you grasp this truth that I'm about to tell you, it'll set you free from religion. It'll set you free from parents and moms and family and governments and police, everybody. It'll set you free. And it's simply this: you are divine. God has exploded in a Crab Nebulae explosion, and he has come and manifested himself as billions of people. And you're one of you, and so am I. When I look at you, I see God. When you look at me, you see God. That's why God's name is I Am. I am God. It doesn't mean that me, God. It means I am. When you say I am God, you have to say, what is God's name? I am. What? I am God. Oh my God, then all the people, Christians run around, oh, I told you they think they're God. I don't think any of the other side. No, Jesus Christ said, the scripture says you are God, and the scripture cannot be broken. So he said it.
Yeah, like I'm not third album.
Peace, family. How you all doing? I hope all is well with you. My name is Keisha. I'm the owner of Ascendant Astrology, and I am your astrology coach. Today, I'm going to be discussing the Libra Eclipse. I've been kind of fighting with myself, going back and forth, deciding whether or not I wanted to do this separately or together. And you know what? I'm just gonna do it separately. So, um, eclipses happen every 6 months. Eclipses are agents of change. Solar eclipses are new moons on steroids or times 10, however you want to look at it. It's big, massive changes outside of your control. They represent new beginnings and opportunities for growth and transformation. And they help us see things in a new light and put us on a new path. We can see a lot of things shift, especially like on the world stage, but obviously in your personal life as well. Even sometimes it can be because of things that are happening in the world outside of you know, your family, your neighborhood. You know, it could be things that are happening in the world that are causing you to make some significant changes without having had to plan or none of that. Is just going to be something that you just might have to do. Um, the solar eclipse in Libra is going to be at 21 degrees on October 14th. Libra is a cardinal air sign. It's associated with intellect, communication, and our social interactions. It rules partnerships, marriage, contracts, agreements, mentorship, advisors, counselors, mediators, coaches. It also actually rules the justice system outside of just wanting justice, fairness, and peace. These it's judges. It could be judges. Libra could be judges, but I think that's more of a Jupiterian thing. But this is the justice system, you know, the state and the lower level of the justice system. Again, Jupiter, Sagittarius is like federal law and things of that nature. Um, and so this could be things around courts, judges, again, justice system, any kind of laws and regulations around that, or protests with Mars and Libra. These could be like them changing laws in the justice system that people are fighting against or fighting for. Um, yeah. This could be others, clients, and Libra also rules your open enemies. So these are enemies that you are very aware of. Pisces are your hidden enemies, just so that you know. Libra strives for balance with the charm and demeanor. Obviously, Libras, you're going to feel this the most, as well as all the cardinal signs, which is Libra, Cancer, Capricorn, and Aries. Um, this could be changes in your personal appearance, self-esteem, um, body fashion, changing something about yourself, um, or a routine or relationships. Um, if you're somebody who is on the lower expression of Libra, which is being too nice and decisive, too giving, too understanding, this can lead to decisions to let something go because you're realizing that something no longer is helping you, grow or evolve or change or giving you the emotion, happiness, the pleasure or desire that you're looking for or need in a relationship. And again, this can be a relationship to anything. I know I keep emphasizing this, and people are probably like, it's not really necessary. But I think for practice purposes and new people who might be joining, to repeat it could be helpful, that this could be your relationship to any noun, person, place, or thing. So the obvious one is relationships, romantic relationships, marriage, right? This could be your relationship to your social interactions, how you interact with others and what you need to do that, or vice versa, what others need to interact with you. Um, this could also be um, your relationship to money, pleasure, desires, um, your needs and what you want, your workplace, your relationship with your home and how you find peace or where you find peace. Um, yeah, so I hope that makes sense. Because it is a South Node eclipse, I do think this is more so about letting things go. Not to say that new things cannot come in or won't come in. I definitely think that they will, but it also can be like that we're being held up in some way, shape, or form, or it could feel like we're being held up in some way, shape, or form because we haven't let something go, if that makes sense. So we need to let something go so the new can come in. And so I don't typically talk much about, soulmates, twin flames, and those melanomas that they use quite avidly in tarot. Um, but I do think this is something that's going to be extremely highlighted at this time because it is a South Node. So this could be going back to a childhood relationship that you had the potential to have, but for whatever reason or not, it never worked out. And this person comes back in your life, and now it's the right time. And you get that opportunity to experience that relationship. This could be past life relationships or soul connections that is almost instantaneous. When you meet this person, it's like that's it, they never go away, and you end up staying together or being together for long periods of time due to your soul connection. It was almost as if you knew without knowing. You go on a date, you go on another date, and another date, and after a while, they're moving in, you're having children, you're getting married, and it's like it was probably never planned, discussed. It's just that these kinds of relationships can feel so easy. Um, there's just certain things that don't need to be said when you know, you know. It could feel like that with the South Node and a South Node eclipse in Libra, right? And so a lot of past life relationships could are very activated right now. And it doesn't all have to be good. Let me just say that, family. I'm not trying to bring any bad news in or anything like that. It could be something of out of comfort or a need to fill a void, finances. What are the reasons people get married? Like maybe because of your beauty, a power couple, those minor things that don't really define relationships, but for whatever reason, they are big definers of relationships. The very superficial, some might even say relationships. So you really got to look at your chart, know your chart, and understand what that might be for you. Um, I think another really good example of this is that a one night stand that you have, unintentional or because somebody was drunk, right? One of those kinds of experiences, and you get pregnant. But that person is a stand-up person, and they're going to stick by you, whatever you choose to do. And so now you have a soul contract with this person, right? And not to say that that couldn't end up being a beautiful thing, but on the precipice of meeting in that way, there could be some things that kind of come up out of that where there's regret. I never wanted this. I wasn't ready for this. I still have some healing to do. And it's kind of becomes a burden on the relationship of things that you guys end up having to work through or experience together, right? That's another way to look at that. Um, yeah, we got soul contracts holding us back emotionally, spiritually. It might be hard for us to let go. Now, I've been talking about this energy for quite some time, and maybe to myself in my head, and maybe I actually did do a video on. At this point, there's so much going on. I'm sorry, I can't remember. But with Mars and Libra, we have a transit coming up this Saturday, actually. I'm going to do my best to talk about it briefly here, so bear with me, family. On Saturday, the moon will be in Cancer. It's going to square Mars and Libra and Pluto and Capricorn. There are 100 different ways I'm seeing this transit, but just thinking about this South Node soulmate activation energy, I think we're going to start to see a lot of these things coming up now. Because the way I'm looking at this is that people, whether knowingly or unknowingly, with Pluto, it's a very deep um, understanding or deep emotions coming up to the surface. Mars is the ancient ruler of Scorpio, which is what sign Pluto rules, and it's in the sign of Capricorn, which is opposite Cancer, where the moon is. And that Capricorn Cancer axis is all about family, tradition, traditional marriages, what that looks like, and how much it's changed today, right? And Pluto and Capricorn is like, to me, how I'm seeing this is like what broke up that family culture or that family value net worth or understanding or, you know, purpose or of what we got married for and how did that change. That's my personal opinion. I need to make this very clear. This is how I'm viewing this energy, right? And so even though on a 3D level every day we might make really dumb, stupid, ignorant choices when it comes to love and romance and relationships for whatever reason, lack of knowledge, we don't know who we are anymore. We're certainly not being taught that or shown how to stay connected to that, to do it in the right way. We know that that's very Pluto and Capricorn, right? But I feel like there's going to be some deep emotions that are coming up around that from people from your past that maybe lost opportunities from you. And remember, this doesn't have to be the recent past, this could be past lives, um, or, your early past, relationships that you've had that are coming back up because they see something now. They're having some kind of realization that you meant something to them, that they never gave you the relationship that you wanted. Again, maybe they weren't ready. They didn't know how. They needed to be taught. There are hundreds and thousands of reasons why these things are going to be coming up for certain people at this time. But I get a very take me back, please. I'm sorry. I didn't treat you right. I know I could have done a better job. I want to do that now kind of attitude, right? So the begging, pleading, making promises, wanting to make up, um, with Pluto and Mars, this can be rather interesting and dangerous and violent for some, how this comes out. This could be fatal attractions. Again, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but you have to know your chart. This is going to show up for people in very different ways. And you have to understand it's like a whirlwind of energy that's coming together to force us to change. And so, however it's coming out, either whether we can understand it or not on this 3D level, people act out of fear, and fear of losing somebody, and they might not want to, and people do that in all different kinds of ways. So we can see some very violent things, threats due to somebody choosing to leave to be in a relationship that makes them truly happy. On the everyday, normal, kind of regular side of this, people are going to be very hurt and disappointed when they are turned down to not move forward in a relationship because there's been so much damage, right? And so this is divorces, breakups, um, you know, that one nightcap of just talking over and over and over again about the same thing. How can we fix this? We can't fix this. I'm over this. Please don't leave me. What can I do? Um, you know, these are just ways that I'm seeing this in my head. And um and then the new comes in once that period is over. We could see this in another 6 months. This could be over a period of 6 months. All new and full moons culminate over 6 months. And because this is an eclipse and we'll have eclipses every 6 months, there'll be new energy, information, changes, evolution of this energy over each, 6 months time. Um, Another way I'm seeing this is culturally, we don't work together. We don't grow or evolve together socially. When I think about this, when I think about Cancer and Capricorn axis, I think of when we had neighbors who would beat us if we weren't home when the lights went out, or that they would tell your mom that you was out doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing, and you get a beating from your parents. Like there was no room for error in a sense here, right? And what happened to those days? Where have they all gone now? Everybody's more isolated. Stay to yourself, mind your business. Kids have rights that they would never have had before, as if they can make decisions and they're not making the right decisions. And I think we're kind of seeing the crumble, Pluto and Capricorn, the fall of those decisions, of those laws, of those changes. And people are, they want that old thing back. They're tired. Like people who are really feeling this are tired. And I feel like, in a sense, we don't know how. to address it or how to come back together, because we've been doing it for so long. Somebody's going to have to, Mars and Libra, fight and protest for what they believe in, for justice, for the right thing, to do things the right way, to make a difference, to bring people back together, teaching us how to be more social. And the moon in Cancer wants to nurture and add comfort to making this decision for people who are open to that, right? Because we all know not everybody's going to be open to that. Some people are going to fight this and continue doing their lonely is the happiest place to be, even though if you're alone, what are you really, what are you building? What are you doing? What are you doing? And like I said in my other video, it's very necessary to have to be alone and do that whole Pluto, Scorpio, inner work, dark night of the soul, and process. It's necessary. Um, but you also don't stay in there, and you're supposed to have tools and things that you're working on that I think is not emphasized enough in our culture to help us really elevate for what that dark night of the soul process is really for, right? And so what I like about the South Node and Libra is, again, on the higher vibration of this is mentors, counselors, mediators, coaches, astrologers, people who you will have support for, those people who are willing and ready to change and evolve out of that lack of social um, interacting. And how can you change that in your personal life, your home life, your family life, moon in Cancer? And the reason why I think that this is so important is because um, Gemini is getting ready to move into Jupiter, and then Pluto is eventually going to move back into Aquarius in January and kind of all of next year. I think we have one more bout of Pluto being in Capricorn right around this time again next year. But for the most part, that transit technically is over, right? And so the last wrapping up of Pluto and Capricorn is going to continue to break down these structures that were built to break that belief apart. And people are going to begin to wake up because Pluto and Aquarius is all about the people. North Node in Aries is knowing yourself enough to know that if you get together with a bunch of people, that's not going to change who you are. And Jupiter and Gemini is like the wisdom and the knowledge to know how to implement the tools that you are going to be learning, whichever route you choose to learn those things, so that you can connect and socialize with others. That's the vision that I see for this, because I think, in my culture, where I see this the most is the separation and how much we need to really work on coming together. And so that was a very long-winded explanation for that, but um, I do think that people are going to be apologizing, wanting to make up. Um, they're going to fight for the relationship and what they believe in. Um, And I think it's going to pull on people's heartstrings coming from people from the past, because these might have been things that's all you ever wanted to hear from that person. And you spent years waiting for that answer until you finally said, you know what, I can't do this anymore. You left the relationship. Maybe there was time, a lot of time, little time apart. These people are going to come back to fight for their spot or an opportunity for a redo. Again, I think this can lead to more legal matters and divorce if it's not done in the right way, or people are on the more violent side of this. Unfortunately, again, it can be a thing. And even if it's not, people want, they're done, somewhere, wherever this is happening for you in your life, there's an area of life where your no is a complete sentence, right? And so I think people are going to be feeling that. And this could be a lot of arguments, again, back and forth, aggressive feelings, feeling threatened. This could be through unexpected changes and upheaval, somebody not feeling safe, supported, or afraid, feeling like you're going to lose something, not going to get what you want. And this is going to be the driving energy behind people's actions at this time. So be careful. Also, keep in mind that Venus, on the day that this Mars square Pluto transit happens, is the official day that Libra's retrograde is completely done. And I find that extremely interesting. I'll talk more about that on Thursday for the Thursday astrology. So if you're not following me on my IG, please feel free to do so. But I do think that that's going to change a lot of that energy and expectations of that. The good news is that Venus will be in Virgo during this Libra eclipse energy. And I do feel like Venus and Virgo is going to kind of clean up the mess from Venus and Leo, so to speak. Venus and Virgo is big themes are of being of service, awareness, and healing. That's the key word there, right? So I think even though Venus doesn't do well in Virgo, it's in detriment. There's still room for, you know, unfortunate situations to happen. But I do still think, just by way of what Virgo me represents, we can be more like, help me help you, being more open to change. We can feel like we're not receiving the love we want. This can breed a lot of healers in this. I think more relationship coaches or services needed for relationship coaches, or just a lot more people watching relationship videos. But again, this could be actual healers, service workers, herbalists, pharmacists, nurses assistants. So we can also see a lot of things, issues coming up with these fields, beauticians, barbers, and estheticians as well. And the sex industry, believe it or not, Virgo is a sign of the virgin and that kind of idea of what a woman should look like and the attraction to that. But, Virgo can be a very sexualized sign, and that can represent the sex industry. Um, Drug transactions, dietitians, trainers, sterilizing of this could be like the need or the want to take care of your lady parts. It could be for the guys too, by the way. Um, but that kind of health care or cleansing or detoxing around, your body parts, can be a really big theme at this time, or people feeling the need to have to kind of like do that to flush away what are the excess energies they have from others of the past. It could be something like that. But yeah, I see a lot of that kind of energy being super important. Again, a cleansing so that the new energy can come in. So, as usual, family, I love and appreciate you. I hope you found this information helpful. Peace.